There's so many moving parts to this, and we're just now getting word that Dianne Feinstein in the Senate wants a probe on this Ukraine call, and we're also getting a report out of the New York Times that there may have been pressure on the Australian Prime Minister by President Trump as well. Let's start with Giuliani because he's clearly become the focus here. What do we know specifically about his involvement and what the House is looking for?
We just got a letter from 3 House committees requesting subpoenaing demanding documents from Rudy Giuliani. Those include text messages, communications, and any records he might have of calls and communications that he had with Ukrainian officials discussing an investigation of Joe Biden and Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Now, that letter from the House committees also requested the deposition of 3 of Giuliani's associates. So that kind of follows the same pattern we saw with Pompeo's subpoena last week, when Pompeo received a subpoena for documents, and then there were former and current State Department officials whose deposition was requested in these committees. In the case of the State Department officials, those depositions would happen this week. In the case of Giuliani's associates, those depositions are for next week.
As the president's lawyer, is there any sort of privilege that would allow Giuliani to not comply with the subpoena?
Giuliani is in a kind of an interesting position because he is the president's personal attorney, but he's not drawing a salary. He's not in any official capacity associated with the executive branch. Now, that hasn't stopped the White House before from asserting executive privilege over other testimonies and other depositions in House committees. So it's not clear how Giuliani will respond. This subpoena was just for documents. So they've given him an October 15th deadline to respond. It's unclear if the next step would be to get Giuliani himself in front of a House committee to testify.